Hello friends, and welcome to a Vinyasa Flow to Crow. Now if you haven't already, you might like to check out the tutorial we have on crow pose or bakasana in the online studio. That can help you wrap your head around what we are working towards today. But this entire sequence is designed to work our way up to a crow pose. And even if that isn't something that you nail today or that you get to today, you will be building the foundations of a solid crow pose. So we'll be doing lots of pose mimics, so ways to be in crow without being in crow. Lots of, strengthening drills and similar shapes and really breaking down the different elements of this posture because we are looking at wrists, elbows, shoulders, upper body, hip flexion, knee flexion. There's so many little components that make a successful and a good feeling crow pose, and they are all sprinkled throughout this sequence so you can get a really well-rounded introduction to crow pose. So this should be a nice warming vinyasa class. So again, even if you don't feel like getting on your hands today or balancing on your hands, you don't have to, you can simply follow along. I have blocks with me. You might like a couple blocks or even a chair, something to like lift yourself up or something to bite with the knees, I guess. So even like a pillow or a folded up towel or something that you can squish between your elbows or squish into your hip, something that will give you some physical feedback. I also have a blanket and a bolster. We may or may not use them. I just like having them handy because it's fun to show you different ways to approach things. So make sure your block or whatever you're going to use in place of a block is within reach. And we're going to begin today lying down. So come onto your back, supine. And we'll start by just connecting with the breath. I have my knees bent, but you might prefer your legs long. It's your choice. Hands either on the body or down by the sides. Let's settle in and practice some presence by bringing your attention to the breath. Something that really draws me to these arm balance postures or kind of really technical skill-based postures is that it really helps me practice presence. If you are putting all of your weight on your hands or balancing, or really challenging yourself, there kind of is no space for you to be thinking about the future or the past or anything like that, because with a wandering mind, you lose the shape. And so while it may not be the case for everybody, for me, these kind of postures help bring me into the present moment so well. Smooth out your breath, lengthen your inhales, and slow down your exhales. In stillness, let's take one more big breath in. And out. Gently draw the right knee in toward the chest. Option to extend the left leg long or leave it bent, your choice. You might take a few wiggles or rocks from side to side. One important element of crow pose is that deep knee flexion. So really bringing your knee towards the armpit, getting it in nice and close to the chest. You can also start to take it slightly out to the side. You might even like a half happy baby here. Just gentle encouragement. If you're feeling any like pinchy or crunchy or yucky feelings in the hip, just dial it back a little bit. We are just warming up. Give it one last little squeeze. We'll switch legs. Grab the left knee, extend the right leg out. Maybe bend it, your choice. Little rocks are welcome. Half happy baby is welcome, your choice. Then bring your right knee in to mirror your left. So we're going to grab around the tops of the knees here, pulling your knees in toward the armpits. Now point the toes here, and while you pull your knees in towards the armpits, pull your heels towards your butt. Start to get some kind of muscle activation in the body here. And then like you're doing a little crunch, draw your lower ribs in, lift your chin, look between your knees, let go of your knees and reach towards your toes. Oof, you're making just a little tiny ball. Wonderful. Keep the legs as they are, but lower your upper body down. We're going to do a few little toe taps. Really compress. Pull your knees into your chest, lift up. Can you reach your little toes? Relax. We're going to do one more, really getting into that feeling of compression. Now pause here. You're pulling your knees to your chest. You're pulling your heels to your butt. Now look up to the ceiling and reach your hands up to the ceiling. Open your palms up to the ceiling. We are already in a crow pose. We're like 2 minutes into class. Congratulations. See if you can pull your knees in a little bit more towards your armpits. See if you can reach your hands a little bit more up towards the ceiling. And see if you can pull your heels a little bit more into your butt. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Oh my goodness. Relax everything, feet to floor. Gently rock the knees from side to side. Now that was a pose mimic. We just did a crow pose. We just happened to be on our back. And now once you get the kind of balance component of crow, it's not going to be that hard. We're going to do that one more time, but we're going to do it with a little feedback from our blocks. So grab your blocks and you're going to bite your blocks with your feet, or with your butt, I guess. So I like it on the long edge. That's a bit easier. If you pop it on the shorter edges, that becomes much harder. Your choice. I'm going to go in the middle here. So try to pull your block into where your butt meets your thigh, essentially, with your heel. Now, pull your knees in towards your armpits, reach your hands up to the ceiling, and come back to that crow pose. Bite the block. Extra points for anyone who breaks through their block. Hold it for 3, 2, 1. Relax. Rude. Okay. Take the blocks out, feet to floor, little rock from side to side. We're going to do that again, but we're going to change where our block is. This time, pull your knees into the chest. Now pop your blocks you really want them on your armpits or on the front of your chest, on the front of your shoulders. If you've got like breast tissue or something in the way that doesn't feel good, you might bite the block in the hip. In fact, do that. It's much nicer. But if you really want to go for the full pulling into the shoulders, you can do that. But I'm changing my mind mid-class. Pull that block into the hip crease and bite the block. Pull it into your belly. Excellent work. Now pull your heels to your butt. Pull your knees to your shoulders. Bite the block. See if you can break it. And then draw your lower ribs in. Shoulder blades come apart as you reach up to the roof. Hold for 3, break your blocks. 2, 1, relax. Oh my gosh, we only have one more of these to do. Rock your knees from side to side. And this time just take one block and pop it to the inside of your elbow. So kind of bite it between your elbows so the palms can face up to the ceiling. Pull your heels to your butt. Pull your knees to your elbows. Now, while you grip the block with your elbows, reach up. So your shoulder blades leave the mat. Pull, pull, pull those knees into your triceps. Hold for 3, 2, and 1. Oh my goodness, relax. Put your block down. We're finished with that forever. Rock your knees from side to side. Next time you rock over to the left, rock all the way, roll onto your front body, roll to prone. Let's come into a sphinx. So place your elbows on the floor. Take your knees or your feet about hip distance apart. Let your belly relax here and just gently draw your shoulder blades together. All that ab work so early in a class was pretty rude of me, but I feel like we've already got a really strong foundation for our crow and so early on in the game. We're going to talk a lot about scapular retraction and protraction today. Right now, let's retract the shoulder blades. Pull them together, draw your heart forward, feel open through the chest. Pause here for 3. Ooh, we got a little dip in the lights. It's very stormy outside today. 2. Ooh. And 1. Relax yourself down and bring yourself into a child's pose. Sit back towards the heels. Reach your arms out super long. Let's get some length in the arms and the side body. Deepen the breath. Letting go of any feelings of holding or tension or gripping that you've got from those crow mimics. And begin to walk your hands back towards you, coming into Virasana or a sitting pose. I'm going to turn to face you, but stay as you are. You might like to take a block between the heels and sit on your blocks. And we'll do a little bit of work on the wrists here. Now, I have an entire 15-minute wrist-specific class on the platform. This is a really good, or that is a really good class to go and practice if you find that wrists and elbows are an issue for you when you practice hand balancing. Let's do a little bit of articulated rotations of the wrists. So get your robot arms on, thumbs pointing up towards the ceiling. Everything else except for your wrists stays completely still. Coming into ulnar deviation, pull your pinky finger towards the side of your arm and then rotate. Try to bring the pads of your fingers to the thin skin side of your arm. So your fingers are pointing towards each other. Radial deviation, start to bring those robot hands back, but pull your thumbs towards the side of your wrist. And then open up. Try to bring the fingernails to the thick skin side of your wrists. Keeping it going. Sometimes I like to imagine my hands are like rubber scrapers and I'm scraping the batter off the inside of a bowl. So my elbows aren't moving, my forearms aren't moving. Just going through every range of motion in the wrist, and take your rotations in the opposite direction. Slow, controlled. Wonderful. Finish off your last one. And then just give your wrist a little bit of a shake, a little bit of a whatever movement. Bring your fingertips to the ground and then press your hands out, stretching the thin skin side of the wrist or our forearm flexors. Getting that gorgeous range of motion. And then step your hands out in front of you and we'll come into a tabletop. Now let's get super strong in our tabletop. Draw the lower ribs in, feel strong through the lower belly, tuck the toes. Kind of set your shoulder blades in a neutral place, so they're not fully together and they're not fully apart. Neutral chest. Take a big breath in, and as you breathe out, keep everything as it is, but just float the knees up off the floor. So that's our beast pose. Now gently rotate the knees so you can tap your right knee down on the floor. See, my lower body rotates a little, and then I change, left knee taps. Upper body from belly button up isn't really moving. We just rotate, tap right knee, left, right, left, right, left. Beautiful work. Belly strong. Let's take a couple more each side. Right, left, right, left. Come back through center. Pause. Pop your knees back on the ground. Wonderful work. Let's take some scapular push-ups, getting used to that protraction, retraction. Body stays nice and still. It's just your shoulder blades that are moving. Pull your shoulder blades together. You'll notice that my upper body drops down. Push the floor away from you and make space between the shoulder blades. Puff out through the back of the heart. Lower down, shoulder blades together. This is scapular retraction. Push the floor away. Separate your shoulder blades as much as you can. Scapular protraction. Retract. Push, protract. Retract. Push, protract. One more time. Retract. Push, protract, pause. This protraction, this is where we want to be when we finally get to our crow pose. We're not necessarily really rounding through the back, but we're just pushing the shoulder blades apart, really strong through the chest. Keep this pushing, keep this protraction for 3, 2, 1. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back. Oof, downward facing dog. Take any wiggles that feel good. Settle into this shape. Come up high on the tippy toes, bend your knees and start to walk your feet up towards your hands. Come to a rag doll. Knees are bent, relax your belly toward the thighs, upper body hangs heavy, back of the neck is long. Grab the elbows if it feels good, relax the hands down if it feels good, and maybe just take a little wiggle from side to side. Press the feet down, start to tuck the hips under, let go of elbows if you've got them. Roll your way up standing. We'll work our way through some sun salutations. So until we really get to our crow pose breakdown or our crow play, we're going to get into some flowier, more vinyasa-like movements. We've been pretty drill heavy up until this moment. Tadasana, palms face forward, standing up tall, steady as the mountain. Inhale, reach the hands around and up, grow tall. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to floor. Step back to the top of a push-up. That can be on your toes or your knees, your choice, belly strong. Lower down, elbows close to the body, all the way to the floor. Belly touch. The chest, gaze forward. Melt down, push back through hands and knees, tuck toes, down dog. A round of breath in and out here. Come up high on the toes, bend knees, hop, step, whatever your way to the top of the mat, forward fold. Halfway lift. Fold it forward. Reach up tall. Palms in front of the heart. Tadasana, hands by the sides. Let's repeat. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to floor, step, hop back to the top of a push-up. Optional chaturanga here, lower down, maybe body floats, elbows close by the body. Inhale, cobra or up dog, tops of the feet on the floor, hips float, look up, retract shoulder blades. Exhale, downward facing dog, 1 round of breath here. High on toes, bend knees, gaze forward. Hop or step your way to the top of the mat. Halfway lift once you get there. Fold it forward. Reach the arms around and up. Hands meet down in front of the heart. Tadasana. We're going to take 2 rounds of what my teachers at Authentic Movements call rolling vinyasas. Excellent for building heat and flow, but also excellent for creating that little tuck position that we need for a crow pose. Let's inhale, reach the hands around and up, optional, lift the heels. Exhale, bend the knees generously, squat down, make yourself into a little tiny ball, maybe you're on toes or not. Reach the hands in front of you, rock your heels to the floor, round the back a lot. See if you can gently relax yourself onto your butt. Now you can use your hands on the floor here too. Once your butt's on the floor, keep that tuck position, knees in close to the armpits. As you roll back, roll forward with enough momentum that you can come onto the feet. Maybe use your hands. And then we come up through chair and fold it forward. Reach the arms around and up. Hands through heart center. Hands down by the sides. Let's do that again with a bit more momentum. Inhale, lift up, maybe heels. Exhale, lower down, reach forward, protract your shoulder blades. Maybe come onto your bottom, roll back, roll forward, feet to floor, whoop, chair, melt it forward. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hands in front of heart. Tadasana. Let's do that 2 more times with a bit more speed. You work at your pace that suits you best. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, little ball. When you can, roll it back. Roll it forward. Chair, melt, forward fold. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring it down. 1 more time. Lift. Lower. Roll. Chair. Fold. Arms around and up. Palms in front of heart. Let's do that 1 more time. Lift. Squat. Roll. Reach, stand, chair. Fold. Wonderful. Arms reach around and up. Hands in front of the heart. Tadasana. Pause. Let's take a regular sun salutation to get to a downward facing dog. Inhale, reach the hands around and up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step back to the top of a push-up. Lower down, floor or chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or baby cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pause. Once again, working on that strong tucking shape with the knees and that protraction shape with the shoulder blades. Inhale, right-legged, 3-legged dog. Lift right leg. Exhale, gaze forward. Bend that right knee. Tuck it into your armpit as you come to a plank. Turbo dog. Inhale, lift it up. We're going to do that again. Exhale, right knee, right armpit. Push the floor away. Inhale up. Exhale, right knee, right armpit. Inhale, lift it up, pause. Look between the hands. Step your right foot up between the hands. Give it a little bit of help if it needs. Sweep your hands forward and up. Arrowhead pose, lean forward, hands down by the side. Weight into the right leg. Half mountain, reach your hands up, pull your left knee to the chest. Stand up super tall, woo! Send it back, arrowhead. Whoa. Reach your hands forward and up, high lunge. Now heel toe your right foot out, once, twice to the right side of your mat. Bring both hands down on the inside edge of your leg. Your hands can be on blocks here. And springing off that back left foot, step it to the outer edge of your hands. Malasana. Sit your hips nice and low. Now, if your feet aren't comfortably on the ground or your heels aren't comfortably on the ground, we can take blocks under the heels. Think about your knees coming in really close. Pausing here for 3. You can be up a little bit higher here if you prefer. 2. And 1. Now, if you've got blocks, remove them. We've already done this in our rolling vinyasas. Reach forward, start to lean back. Use your hands if you need for a little roll. Whoop, roll back, roll forward, lift up, chair, melt. Ragdoll, bend your knees. Take a moment, catch your breath. Press down into your feet, roll your way up to standing. Once you are standing up tall, reach the hands around and up. Palms meet, let's fold straight forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step, hop back to the top of a push-up. Lower down, floor or chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or baby cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Press down into the right foot. Lift the left leg up, three-legged dog. Breathe in. Breathe out, rock forward, plank, bend the knee, pull it to your left armpit. Inhale, lift, three-legged dog. Exhale, left knee, left armpit. Inhale, lift. Exhale, left knee, left armpit. Inhale, lift, pause. Exhale, step that foot between the hands. Inhale, reach up, high lunge. Exhale, arrowhead. Weight into that front left foot. Step your right knee in and up to the chest as you stand up tall, half mountain. Exhale, step it back. Arrowhead. Left foot, heel toes towards the left once, twice. Bring the hands down towards the floor, lizard pose. Hands can be on blocks here. Spring off that back foot, step the right foot to the outside of the hands, lower down malasana. Hands to the heart. Again, we're making that nice compressed ball shape. If you reach your hands out in front of you, palms facing forward, protract your shoulder blades, we're pretty much in a crow pose right now. Now let's reach, lean back, roll it back, keep the ball, reach up chair, ragdoll, melt it forward, relax for a second. Now from your ragdoll, look around, locate a block. Grab your block, lift up, halfway lift, exhale, fold. Take your block with you as you reach forward and up, block to the ceiling, and then down in front of the heart. We're going to utilize our block right now. Just like you did at the beginning of the class, bite your block or grab your block between the inside edges of the hands. So I kind of like pull it into the chest, grab it on the other side. Keep the elbows bent here so you can wave your hands forward. And that block is kind of on the thumb side of the wrists. Come into a chair pose, feet hip distance apart, bend the knees, sit it back. And now reach your hands out in front of you. Protract the shoulder blades, separate the shoulder blades, keep the hands open and bite the block. Hold here. Looks so chill, but it's just not. Bite the block with your elbows for 3, 2, 1. Pause there. Everything stays the same. Now just bend your elbows, pull your fingers towards your face. Keep biting the block. Hold for 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Ragdoll. You can drop your block down to the floor. Ooh, let everything be heavy. Shake your head, wiggle your arms. A moment to chill. And even while we're chilling, we're working on that really important hip flexion. Melt your hands down to the floor and step back to a tabletop. From your tabletop, come back to your child's pose. Take a moment to relax completely, letting go of any gripping tension. You don't need it anymore. And again, this child's pose, very similar to our crow pose. We've got heels close to our butt, knees in super close, but we can soften. Savoring a round of breath in and out here. And then walk your hands towards you, sitting back in Vinyasa. So we're going to take a moment to workshop our crow pose. Grab your block. You might use a bolster instead. We just want stuff to grip with different parts of our body or to step ourselves onto eventually. Now these are just a bunch of drills to work our way up to a crow, and eventually we are actually just going to have some time to play with it. If it comes time to play with our crow and you're like, oh, I don't feel like doing it today, we've got lots of drills for you to go over. So first, we will begin, just as we were doing in our chair, one block between the elbows. So I like to chuck it onto my lap, swoop, scoop it up with my inner elbows, pop my hands on the floor. Kind of crouch, or you can be on your hands and knees here, or if it feels good, you can come into like a malasana here. You're in a little froggy pose. Bite the block with your elbows, push all of your knuckles into the floor. Bend the elbows slightly, and then just have a play with lifting your butt up, putting weight into your hands, biting the block, and then coming down. Lift the butt up, weight into your hands, keep that block, you're pulling those elbows in. Let's do it 2 more times. Lift up, bite the block, lower down. 1 more, lift up, bite the block, lower down, boo. Let's do that again, but we're gonna bite that block somewhere different. If you want to do 2 blocks into the hip creases like we did before, you can. Otherwise, you might just choose to do 1 at a time. This is also something you can do with like a rolled up blanket or of a bolster if you're feeling spicy. Hands to the floor. Pretend you have a block. If you want to go extra, you can put a block there between your elbows. Keep those elbows magnetized in towards each other. Keep those knees touching towards the back of your triceps. Lift your butt, put weight in your hands, bite the block. We're going to do that 2 more times. Lift your butt, bite the block, elbows together. Chill. Lift your butt, bite the blocks, elbows together. Now gaze forward as you do this. Gaze wants to be at the top of your mat. If you're coming into a crow pose and you're tucking your chin or looking between your feet, this kind of looks a little bit like a somersault. And that is not what we're trying to do. Keep your gaze forward and you are more likely to hold that shape, less likely to somersault out of it. That was pretty extra. Good thing I've got a spare. 2 blocks. Bite them between your heel and where your thigh meets your butt. Hands to the floor. Maybe your knees are on or outer knees are on your triceps. Weight into the hands, elbows together, lean it forward. Can you lift a foot? If you lose a block, that's okay. Put it back. That's what it's there for. Lean forward. Can you lift a foot? Bite the block. Let's do that 1 more time. I'm going to do it 1 block at a time. Switch. Bite the block. Lift it up. If you lose it, that's okay. Whew. And now we're going to have a crack with a block tower. 2 is enough. 3 is a bonus. You can also do this with your feet on like a low stool. Aim of the game, hands flat on the floor, keep those elbows glued together. That strong foundation of your elbows, you are creating a shelf with your triceps for your knees to go on. Now you can put the top of your knee on the back of your tricep, or you can put the inner part of your knee on the back of your tricep. Your choice. What feels better in your body? Pick your option. Knee on tricep or inner knee on tricep. Weight in the hands, elbows glued together. Pick up 1 foot, put it on your block tower, other foot on your block tower. Now you might do 1 foot at a time and just be like, okay, this is how I feel here. You might change. You might go both feet. You can put a lot of weight into your block tower. Just getting used to putting weight on your hands and using your triceps as a shelf. How often do you do that in your daily life? Probably not often. It's okay if this feels weird and uncomfortable. Come down whenever you like. Woo. If that felt really fun and cool for you, keep going with that. I'm going to give you 1 more thing to try, which is using our block tower for our head. If you've got neck injuries, obviously this is not a go for you, but it can really help with the fear of like falling on your face or coming forward. Start with your head on your blocks. Palms to the floor. You've got your inner knees or the tops of your knees on your elbows. Lift your butt up. Glue your elbows together. Lean weight on your head, just a little. And then pull 1 heel to your butt. Pop that foot down on the floor. Peel the other one. Put it down. Take a break. If you feel pretty good, take a block away.
put it down, find it, head down, maybe you lift 1, 2, switch, your choice.
If you're like, hey, that feels pretty nice, you can chuck a folded blanket or a bolster in front of you if you've got that fear of folding forward. You might be practicing this on your back body, doing those little like curls we were doing before. You might stick with the blocks. You might even have a play gripping blocks behind the knees, leaning forward. It is really useful just to get into the habit of pulling those feet towards the butt. Now eventually, once you've got strength in your arms, once you've got that hip flexion, knee flexion, your crow is not so much a matter of like brute strength as it is just counterbalancing. Once you've got that shape with your body, you've got that gluing together of the hands, we lift up the butt, rock forward, and then all I have to do is look forward and be brave enough to bring more weight forward. Eventually, more weight's gonna transfer into my hands. I'm gonna press all my fingers into the floor to stop me from falling forward. And then the weight just kind of naturally comes out of my toes. And because I've practiced it a million times, I can really pull my heels in towards my butt. I can really push the floor away. I can really gaze forward. And as you find more lightness in this shape, you might find straighter arms. Touch the feet down. And let's give it another crack. If you're still like, ugh, Emilie, I'm not getting it, let's go super wide knees, inner knees, onto those triceps, and you might find it's more of a flying froggy kind of shape, but it's a really gratifying way to get into a crow and also get used to weight bearing on your hands, especially if you're coming into arm balances as an adult and you don't have like a childhood background of like acrobatics or, gymnastics or something. Your wrists are gonna be like, hey, what's this? So getting into lots of wrist strengthening, wrist mobility is going to be so beneficial for you. Even if you're not finding this like amazing crow pose right now, everything you're doing in this class is super beneficial to your journey towards a hand balance. So let's have another crack at one final crow, whether you're using your blocks, whether you're doing a drill, whether you're having a go at that lean forward, knees on triceps, gazes forward, push the shoulder blades apart, maybe pull one heel to butt, maybe switch, maybe both. And we're gonna touch down, come to a malasana and just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle out the wrists. Reach the hands long in front of you onto the floor, knees to floor. We're gonna come to a child's pose. Take the knees super wide and then reach the arms out in front of you, but either hands point in towards each other, thumbs to ceiling, or palms up to the ceiling, whatever feels good, and just let them relax fully. Soft hands, any wiggles are welcome. Now, if you're not done yet and you want more time to play with your crow, pause the video and go for it. Just remember, as I said, if this is something new to you, you don't want to go too hard right away. Any wiggles in the wrists are welcome here. Crawl your way onto your belly. We're going to roll onto our back. Now take your bolster or block and keep it handy. Rock the knees from side to side. Now, with the intention of kind of taking everything in the opposite direction, we've been doing lots of coming into a ball, lots of reaching forward. We're going to kind of open up that front body now because we've been closing it off a lot today. Grab your bolster or a block and pop it under the hips, either on its lowest or its second setting. So the tailbone kind of feels like it's pointing between your knees and the front of your hips feels super long. Hands down by the sides. We want to push the feet into the floor, press the heels down and see if you can lift your butt up away from the bolster or the block. It looks like I'm not on my block, but I'm lifting. I've got that activation in my legs. Hold and relax. Press up, back body strong, front body open, relax. Just doing little pulses, lifting away from your block, relaxing onto the block, lifting away from the block, lowering down. I always think like a little low bun in my hair is really cute until I lay on my back and I'm like, this was not a good choice. I will never learn. Let's do one more. Activate those glutes, those hamstrings, lift. Lower. With your sacrum fully supported, take your hands where they feel good and extend your legs up into the air. Gentle wiggle through the legs or just floating around. From here, we move into pontoon pose. Option of doing this one-sided or both-sided, your choice. Start to bring your left leg down onto the mat so that leg is long. Right leg can bend. I like to give it a little hug in toward the chest and then slide it down. I'm going to bring foot to floor. This is a half pontoon. This is my personal favorite. I get the best lengthening through the front of that left hip. But if you choose, you can have both legs extended. Again, beautiful opening through the front body. Just kind of neutralizing all the shapes we've been making today. Slow down your breath. Bend both knees in, extend them up to the ceiling. A little shake or a cycle or a wiggle. This time bend your left knee in and lengthen your right leg out. Maybe give that left leg a little squeeze in and release it down. Either foot comes to the floor with a bent knee or you extend it out straight, your choice. Beautiful. Lengthening through that hip, which has been very compressed with all of our little human cannonball making today. Bend both knees, feet flat on the floor. Lift the hips up enough that you can slide your support out from underneath you. Extend your left leg out long and left arm up overhead. Now shorten the right side of the body. So start to kind of crunch to the right, shoulder towards the hip. Reach your left arm up to the top right-hand corner of your mat and the left leg down to the bottom right-hand corner of your mat. Now you can reach up and grab the left wrist with the right, and you can cross that right leg over the left if it feels good. So this beautiful side body opening, breathing length into the left side. This beautiful kind of lengthened out position. Again, neutralizing from all of that compression. Gently unstack ankles, release wrists, come back through center. Bend your knees. Right arm reaches up, left hand comes down. Right leg extends out. Crunch over to the left, so bring your left shoulder close to the left hip. Take your right foot over towards the bottom left-hand corner of your mat. Right arm over towards the top right-hand corner. Right arm towards the top left-hand corner, You might reach up, grab the right wrist with your left hand, and you might stack your left foot on top of your right ankle. So both butt cheeks and both shoulder blades are on the ground right now. You're just making a big kind of C shape with the body. Breath is long and smooth. Perhaps visualizing or breathing some space coming into all of those compressed places that we were working on today.
This is Bananasana. I don't think that's a real Sanskrit name. Banana asana. Gently unstack ankles, unclasp wrists, bring yourself back through center. Now, if you would like to take a full Shavasana, please do pause the video. You can cue a guided Shavasana on our studio platform, or you might like to just pop on a lengthy song. Just soften your whole body, make yourself comfortable. If you need to finish up with me, we will take 3 rounds of breath. Inhaling deep. Exhale, let go of any tension in your body, your mind. Inhale deep. Exhale, soften. Inhale deep. Exhale, soften. And with your eyes closed or half closed, you might like to stretch out, take a little stretch before you roll to one side. Use your hands on the floor to press your way up to a comfortable seat. Let's meet with the hands in front of the heart. A moment of gratitude. Gratitude for this practice. Gratitude for your body's and your brain's ability to learn new things. And remembering that the pose is a journey, not a destination. And that is a cliche for a reason. Even if your crow didn't feel the way that you expected it or that you wanted it to feel, you did so many things that are beneficial to your body and to your brain today. Let's begin to rub the palms of the hands together, going faster, faster, building heat, friction, energy. When the palms feel nice and warm, place them over your closed eyes. Breathe in. Blink the eyes open, breathe out. Set your hands into your lap. Thank you so much for joining me for this Vinyasa float to crow. As always, any questions, queries, requests, anything, I love hearing from you. We love hearing from our community. Please DM us, Facebook us, Instagram us, anything else. I hope you have an excellent rest of your day today, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.